Ooh, it's your boy Kamal Hart on the chart. Let's go bar by bar. Um, it's a good week for me. It's pretty relaxed, I'd say, this week. I only traded like 3 days, but definitely profited, you know, more like 5 days of work. So that's pretty nice. Um, but on the chart, you know, over the pre-market, we have a downtrend, a little bit of an overextension on the channel side. And then we start to get this breakout channel going up, and kind of looks like we're getting caught up in some congestion. So I'm gonna go ahead and just treat that now by throwing a range in here, somewhere in this area. And I mean, you could almost short this trade right here, but let's wait. Let's see how markets are moving. So yeah, that one wouldn't have worked. Now we're starting to move down. A little failed breakout right there. And then here goes the open. This is a trade you might consider, but we are going a little sideways, so I'm gonna hold off. I'd much rather make a decision down here or up here. So this is a setup, but we're gonna just skip that. Save yourself a few dollars. Still going sideways. There's no decision to make right now. And then we're just, everybody knows what this is by that point. So let's just wait it out. Finally get some selling going on. Buying off the lows. Let's see if we can get a lower high and go short. The lower high doesn't come until maybe here. If we break below here, you might consider going short. Um, here's that break below, but it's a doji, so I'm a hold off. Keeps going. Here's that failed second entry. Really what we're going to look for, I think, is we're getting a little close to this lower side. So if we can exit in this area, 32, 22, 25, then I'm okay with this trade. A little aggressive though, but that's a failed second entry long. Good strong close, so we should at least get down here. Just enough, just enough to get out. Not much going on with that one. Here's like a higher low, but we're at the highs of this range. That's not what we want to buy yet. Nothing really through here. Here's here's a lower high. You might consider this trade. Once again, we're just looking for it to hopefully come down here. But if not, we just need a scalp. Doesn't quite get that scalp. Here's another lower high, but I don't want to re-enter here. Let me see if I can get a failed second entry. Like right here, I'd enter there. Cool, entering here. And I'd want to see it come test back to this 32.25 area. There we go. Get a nice move. And right now, this runner is still alive. You've had no break aboves, no higher lows. So your runner on this trade is still in the money. I'd probably sell my runner after this bar, even though you could probably wait a little bit, but seeing a big doji or seeing just kind of this hammer bar after a breakout of our range, I'm expecting it to come test this area. I'll probably exit that runner, but the scalp portion of the trade and the trade in general, pretty profitable. Here's that higher low. Once again, really we're just working with a range. So the way I'm looking at this is that the range is still kind of just working through here. So I'm expecting prices to come test this area. And here's the higher low that I'm talking about. We're starting to go sideways, meaning the selling is drying up a little bit. Um, if you want to be a little aggressive, it's a little sideways. I think that's the only issue I have here. But I am expecting a test somewhere in this area. And we get all the way back to the EMA. And, after we get this test, we'd then be looking for a test up here. Um, takes a little bit, but then it eventually makes it up there. So back-to-back trades where you would have had really, really nice runners. Probably put a little channel through here. There's definitely something working up there. It's not really helping us much because you can't just buy after this many green bars. Our expectations that we're going to come test this EMA at some point. This is a really strong, like, breakout trend. No bars even breaking below a previous bar. We're just, we have one objective right now. Finally get that sort of selling signal, but you don't want to sell this. You just got to wait. You get the breakout side, move to a new high. So now we're getting that sell off. That makes sense. We're starting to go a little just sideways at this point. Um, is there a technical bar is there a situation where we're going back to back bars? A little bit in here, back to back. But overall, you can just see those swings. Let's see if we can go get one sort of confirmation signal. I mean, that right there is pretty congestive. I don't see the true congestion signal, and that might be why we're still bouncing off this EMA because it is a little bit bullish. Yeah, see, we're still getting some buying. So, as much as you wanted to treat this like congestion, we really didn't have our signal, right? We didn't get prices closing below the EMA. We didn't quite get prices that are back to back to back either. Real subtle clue that it might not be done going higher. But I will measure leg one as this leg and then go to the bottom of all this stuff. So I have expectations of prices maybe testing 3261 area. I don't think it's just going to shoot up, but at some point in some way, we might see prices up here just based off of measuring this first leg. Getting a deep pullback. Um, you might consider buying this because see how we're getting support off this EMA 3 times? You would consider buying that. It doesn't look that great. It's kind of why I'm like a little, I don't know. I don't know if I love that trade. And even on the high side, maybe this needs to be a little tighter. I don't like the way these lines fit right now. So I'm gonna hold off on that trade just because it's one thing that's been helping me a lot. Once I'm even kind of confused on trade, because at this point, I know a good trade when there's a good trade. So if I'm even a little confused, um, might as well skip it. So I'll just wait on that one. I honestly think you would have got your scalp though. You would have got enough for a scalp, but the runner, you wouldn't have made much on the runner. Here's that reversal pattern that might set up, but right here, look how we're going back to back to back. That's not a good sign. And like how if you would have entered short there, you get trapped immediately. This would have been a better place to buy. That's a higher low right there. I get another opportunity. So like right here, you might consider buying that because if this is our congestion area, we had like a breakout pullback. If we do get above this bar, that's going to be a failed second entry short, and then you have room to the highs to exit. I would consider buying this bar right here. Oh man, I got pulled back. Let's see if we can get to where we were. Let's see, where were we? Okay. So yeah, I'd consider buying this bar, but we have to break above. So we haven't broken above yet, and looks like we're about to. I don't like how we're going sideways before breaking above, though. That's my only issue now. So if I have an order in the market, um, I'm really considering taking it off because I don't like how it's going sideways. So by, in principle, I don't think I'd hang around. I wanted to see it break above a lot faster than that. So I'd probably take the order off. I don't know if it works or not right now. So you get the break above. Uh, you didn't get your scalp, and then you would have got stopped out. So yeah, I mean, it's because they didn't break above. It should this bar should have broke above, and once that bar didn't, I'm kind of sketched out. This for sure needs to, and once the third bar didn't, that's not a good look. So save yourself a couple bucks. Starting to get that higher low. Now we're really going sideways. It's pretty obvious that this is sideways. You have multiple tests down here. So, you might look at your support being down here somewhere, and we have resistance up here. I like buying this in the context. See how we're making higher lows? Tried to go lower once, kept going higher. Tried to go lower again, kept going higher. I'd buy this green bar, and we have expectations that we're just going to come, hopefully, to this side. It's a little chunky, but it's clearly moving higher. So, and we're off the lows. We're touching the lows, so there's a good chance we'll come up there. That one works pretty well. Now, if we keep going, we want to see a breakout pullback above this resistance area. So here, so you get that breakout pullback that closes above the initial move down. You could probably throw a little channel on that. Probably like a channel, maybe working up through there. Here's our first breakout side. Let's see if we get any movement. Like here, I'd consider buying this. It's a second entry long. It's the first breakout side to this channel. It's kind of like a breakout pullback. We're expecting it to test the highs. It's a little aggressive because we're moving down, but the EMA is acting as support. I think you can buy that. Don't get a lot. I don't know if you get enough on that. 54.50. Yeah, you got enough. Yeah. So you could have got your full scalp. You didn't get nothing on the runner, but the scalp, you made some a little bit of money on that. So let's see, what time is that? 8:43. Yeah, that's about it. So that's the first 2 hours of the market. I I would like to do a little more. You can see from where we're at, it's kind of just looking like a range at this point. But if we're gonna just keep going. See how when we get down here, we're still back here where that previous support was. There's your higher low trade, but it was kind of back to back to back, so we're waiting. You get this really strong move higher. What I'll do is I'll show you, I'll just go through the rest of the day. Ended up being a really strong uptrend, which when you look at it like this, I think you can kind of see the beginnings of that trend, but the way in which it moved up today was just, you know, a little unexpected. So, all throughout here, basically, you're just looking to buy a second entry right there, failed second entry there, another second entry there. See, like right here, like I'll go through and just explain this trade because we don't get these trends. They're often enough, but they don't always happen on Friday. So I do want to explain. Look how you find this trade in an uptrend. Prices are clearly moving higher. So what we're waiting for is when we pull back, we want an attempt to go higher, a pullback, and then on that second attempt to go higher, we get a nice green bar. We want to buy above it. So right there, that's that first attempt. We're not going to buy there. We're waiting. Then boom, here's that second attempt. We want to buy right above this green bar. Notice how all the previous bars are above. By the time we get to this yellow line, there's some support. That's exactly the textbook trade we're looking for. And then if you really want to get the most out of your trade, probably measure leg one. And it's still probably a function of, see this target I made down here, we already ended up reaching that. So there's a bigger leg one, and then there's some sideways stuff, and then now we might get a leg two, or you could just measure this as leg one. And we already know it goes higher, but when it does break above, you can hold your runner and see how we never really go below this line or even have a lot of red bars, more than 3 in a row. And then as we get to this area, look what happens. We do get those 3 red bars. So these are real accurate ways of just when you see that, that means other people took profits there and stuff. This market was so strong, it keeps going. But you can see how once we get to this area, that's when we're starting to get more of these red bars. See that? So it's a good signal for your runners. But that's what I saw today. Last thing I'll just point out is there is a trend going through here. There's probably a high side just somewhere in there. So there's an uptrend going through here. And if we kind of play out the day, we just kind of work our way. We don't quite get to the all the way to the high side, but maybe this angle needs to be a little tighter, but you can see how we also get the bounce again in this area. So that's what I saw, and that's what we're going to go with for Friday. Till next week. See y'all.